Hill.
I rise to speak on the member for Malvern's matter of public importance. At the outset, I'd like to repeat the words in the matter of public importance because of their importance. That this House reaffirms that no Victorian should face harassment on account of their faith. Speaker, we have many matters of public importance that are debated on a Wednesday afternoon, but few are as important as ensuring the social cohesion of our communities and ensuring that all of our communities can live in peace and can gather peacefully, free of harassment from others. We must stand united against anti-Semitism and against hatred in all its forms. The people of Israel, the Palestinian people, and indeed all of humanity deserve nothing less. Both Jewish communities and Palestinian communities are suffering at the moment from the unimaginable grief of friends and relatives who they are mourning. But this doesn't provide any excuse for the scenes that we saw on Friday night or any form of anti-Semitism or Islamophobia or any form of hatred directed in our great state. It is not an exaggeration to say that the Melbourne Jewish community is living in fear at the moment. It is a fear that I have never seen in my life as a Jewish person in Australia. And it's a fear that I had never thought that I would see living in a liberal democracy such as Australia. And I think it's quite poignant that the ambassador for Poland is in the room today, because as a child of a Holocaust survivor from Poland, I never thought that the family came here to escape anti-Semitism, the worst of anti-Semitism, and for many years it's been Australia, and Victorian particularly, has been such a safe haven for the Jewish community, and indeed many other communities right around the world. And to see these actions and to see these anti-Semitic incidents is really incredibly traumatic and incredibly difficult. As the member for Malvern rightly said, all people should be able to worship in safety and free from anxiety. All people should be able to freely express themselves, gather in their groups, gather together, without fear of being persecuted. And I want to just reflect a little bit on the events on Friday night, and I note that the trigger for the event and for the rally appeared to be the characterisation of the event as a hate crime. And as the member for Malvern said, this had been put out in quite clear terms, in my opinion, from Victoria Police, that they did not consider this hate crime or politically motivated. And notwithstanding even the owner of the shop asking people not to protest, people did still come and protest. And protesting in the most highly concentrated Jewish area in the whole of Australia on a Friday night, just before the Sabbath, is nothing if not inflammatory. And I want to also call out the members of the other place, the leader of the Greens, who on Sunday repeated her call that this needed to be investigated as a hate crime. This was after the police had repeatedly indicated what their view of it was on the Friday afternoon. This incident does need to be investigated, as any suspected arson needs to be investigated. And we need to let Victoria Police do their work and investigate the crime properly without trying to put our own perspectives on what the motivations of that crime might be, which are going to enrage and incite people to commit anti-Semitic responses. I want to talk a little bit about what anti-Semitism is in the context of the debate that we're having today. I think we have talked in this place quite a lot about anti-Semitism as it appears from the far right, and I think we've been very successful in achieving a cross-party support in banning the Nazi flag, in banning Nazi gestures, and because we all know that those gestures are full of hate. I think it's always been a little bit difficult to grapple with anti-Semitism when it comes from other sources, and I think I want to thank the Allen government and the Andrews government before that for adopting the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's working definition of anti-Semitism, because I think it's very instructive in terms of the debate that we're now having and what we see around the community. The IRA definition provides a tool for all Victorians to understand what constitutes anti-Semitism. It's not a legal definition. It is a definition for education. It is a definition to try and assist people understand what is the difference between anti-Semitism and the legitimate criticism of Israel. And I'd like to just identify what some of these, what the IRA definition actually says. So the IRA definition of anti-Semitism is that anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, towards Jewish community institutions and religious facilities. And rather helpfully, the definition also goes into quite some detail about differentiating between legitimate critique of a national government and what is anti-Semitism. It specifically says that criticism of Israel similar to that levelled against any other country cannot be regarded as anti-Semitic. However, it also says that contemporary examples of anti-Semitism in public life include but are not limited to denying the Jewish people their right to self-determination, for example, by claiming that the existence of the State of Israel is a racist endeavour, applying double standards by requiring it of a behaviour not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation, and holding Jews collectively responsible for the actions of the State of Israel. When we see actions such as we saw on the weekend and in incidents described by the member for Malvern, these have no place in our great state, and they need to be called out as anti-Semitic. I want to also just provide some information just about the increase in anti-Semitic incidents that have occurred since the 7th of October. In the last 5 weeks, there has been over 1,000 calls for assistance to the Jewish security group, and this compares to just over 300 in the 10 months up until that time. Now, not all of these incidents are considered anti-Semitic, and they don't then form part of the final they're not recorded as an anti-Semitic incident in the report. But those that are reported, over the last 5 weeks, there has been 129 total incidents that have been anti-Semitic incidents that have been recorded by the Jewish Community Security Group. That compares to just 9 in the same period last year. Verbal abuse constituted 49 of these cases, a threat with 20 of these cases, and there were various other incidents that were reported, including graffiti, written abuse, online abuse, gestures, property damage, and assault. And of course, this isn't just these are only the ones that are reported. I wanted to provide the House with one of my own personal experiences, or someone from my family. This was not reported. This is not included in the incidents, and perhaps it wouldn't have even been considered as an anti-Semitic report. So, a member of my family was walking to their job in the city, and they were asked, "Are you with Israel or are you against Israel?" On the face of that, that might not be seen as anti-Semitic. But no one in our society should need to have to make that public call to anybody else. That is all their own personal decision, and they shouldn't have to be confronted with that wherever they are. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. I also want to just briefly touch on some of the messaging that we do see out in the community. And I've seen this in some of the signage that we do see at some of the rallies, and I do want to put it on record that I think that, in my view, the vast majority of people who are turning up to the rallies are doing so in support of their family, and in support of a peace that they want to achieve. And as I said before, there is nothing inherently anti-Semitic or anti-Semitic about asking for war to stop and seeking peace. But one of the most difficult signs that I did see that was well publicised on the media was a sign that said, at the rally, that said, "Let's clean the world from rubbish." And it had the old sort of recycling sign and with that stick figure placing a Star of David in the bin. This must be called out as anti-Semitic. It may not be have been arranged by the organisers of the rally, but it is really important, if you are going to say that you stand against all forms of racism, if you stand against anti-Semitism, if you stand against Islamophobia, that you call out the incidents within your own ranks that are trying to divide and are trying to make those claims, because it hurts all of us. Words do matter, and in times of conflict, words matter more.